ever pondered why the tiny chip inside your smartphone or computer has become a focal point of a global tech war? Let's dive into the captivating world of silicon and circuits, where the real war isn't fought with guns and bombs, but with nanometers and transistors. This war isn't about territory, it's about control over the minuscule heart of nearly every modern device we use today, the semiconductor chip. This war, aptly named the Chip War, is currently raging between the West and the rest of the world. It's a battle for domination and supremacy, fought in the realm of technology. The stakes: control over the production and distribution of semiconductor chips, the tiny components that govern the functionality of everything from your smartphone to your smart fridge, from your car's navigation system to the servers that keep the internet running. These chips, no larger than a postage stamp, have become the lifeblood of our modern digital age. They're the tiny brains inside our devices, crunching numbers and processing data at mind-boggling speeds. In a world that's becoming increasingly interconnected and digitized, these chips are more than just components. They've become the critical cogs that keep our digital world spinning. And it's not just about devices. These chips are at the heart of vital infrastructures too, from telecommunications to transportation, from healthcare to defense. They're the silent, unseen workers, tirelessly toiling away to keep our world connected and our societies functioning smoothly. But why is the West at odds with the rest of the world over these chips? Well, it's a story of power, politics, and economics. The West, particularly the United States, has traditionally held sway over chip production. But now, other nations are vying for a piece of the pie, seeking to break the West's stronghold and establish their own dominance in the chip industry. So, this tiny piece of technology has become a towering giant in the global tech battlefield. It's a war that's happening right under our noses, in our pockets, in our homes. And it's a war that's set to shape the future of technology as we know it. To understand the present, we need to journey back to the past. Let's take a peek into the early days of the chip war, a time when the microchip was still in its infancy. The invention of the first microchip marked the beginning of a new era. Jack Kilby, an engineer at Texas Instruments, and Robert Noyce, the co-founder of Fairchild Semiconductor, and later Intel, are credited with this groundbreaking invention in the late 50s. This tiny piece of technology, no bigger than a fingernail, had the potential to revolutionize industries, and it did. The United States, being home to both Texas Instruments and Intel, became the epicenter of this technological revolution. The country's robust industrial infrastructure, coupled with its innovative spirit, propelled it to the forefront of the burgeoning chip industry. In the early years, the West, particularly the United States, dominated the chip market. They held the reins of the global chip supply chain, with companies like Intel, Texas Instruments, and later on, Advanced Micro Devices, leading the pack. These companies set the pace, defining the direction of the tech industry with their innovative chip designs and manufacturing prowess. But this domination was not just about economic gain. Chips were, and still are, seen as strategic assets. They are the heartbeat of modern technology, powering everything from our smartphones to our cars, and even our washing machines. Controlling the chip industry meant having a significant advantage in the global technological arms race. However, this power was not unchallenged. Other nations, seeing the strategic and economic potential of chips, started investing in their own chip industries. They began nurturing their own tech giants, setting the stage for a fierce competition. Thus, the groundwork for this modern-day tech war was laid during these initial years. The battle lines were drawn, with each nation vying for control over this tiny, yet immensely powerful piece of technology, the microchip. But as the saying goes, change is the only constant. The world of technology is no exception to this rule, and in recent years, the Eastern Hemisphere has begun to make waves in the chip industry. This shift in power has been significant, mainly driven by two powerhouses, China and South Korea. Let's take a moment to discuss China's rise in the chip market. For decades, China has been a massive consumer of chips, but it had always relied on imports to satisfy its needs. However, the turn of the century saw China nurturing its homegrown companies, encouraging them to innovate and challenge the status quo. The result? a slew of Chinese companies emerging as significant players in the chip industry, challenging the monopoly of the West. Now, let's turn to South Korea, a country that has been steadily climbing the ladder of the chip industry. Known for its tech-savvy populace and innovative companies, South Korea has been a force to be reckoned with. The nation's tech giants, like Samsung, have been leading the charge. Their relentless pursuit of advancement has put South Korea on the global chip map, making it a formidable competitor to the West. The rise of these Eastern nations in the chip market has been nothing short of astonishing. They've proven that they're not just consumers, but creators, innovators, and disruptors. They've shown that they can compete with the best, and not just in their home markets, but on the global stage. This shift in power has not been an overnight phenomenon. It's been a result of years of planning, investment, and hard work. And it's not just about the chips. It's about technological sovereignty, economic power, and national pride. The tides have indeed begun to turn in the chip industry. The East is no longer just playing catch-up. It's setting the pace, challenging the West, and reshaping the landscape of the global chip market. The stage was set for an epic battle, a war for chip dominance. Fast forward to the present day, the chip war is more intense than ever. The global stage is set, with the East and West locked in an intricate dance of power, intellect, and technology. The focus? Control of the mighty chip market. Let's take a moment to identify the key players in this riveting saga. On one side, we have the Western powerhouses, led by the likes of Intel, AMD, and Nvidia, each boasting a formidable arsenal of technological prowess. They've long dictated the pace of the chip industry, but the winds of change are blowing. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the Eastern contenders. China, in particular, has been making significant strides, with companies like Huawei and SMIC rising to the challenge. Their goal? To break the West's monopoly and establish their own dominion in the chip market. Now, how are these giants strategizing for dominance? The Western players are leveraging their decades of experience and innovation. They're investing heavily in research and development, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in chip technology. They're also playing the long game, cultivating partnerships and alliances to maintain their stronghold. Meanwhile, the East is not sitting idly by. They're focusing on self-sufficiency, aiming to reduce reliance on Western technology. They're pouring resources into domestic research and development, fostering homegrown talent, and even exploring partnerships with other Eastern countries. It's a bold move, signaling their intent not just to compete, but to lead. But it's not just about the East versus the West. Other regions are entering the fray too, each with their own unique strategies and ambitions. It's a global chip war, a complex web of alliances and rivalries, of innovation and competition. In this high-stake game, every move counts and the battle is far from over. So, what does the future hold for the chip war? As we delve into the crystal ball, there are several factors that could shape the course of the chip war. Let's begin with technological advancements. Both sides of this war are investing heavily in research and development, making it a race not just for production, but also for innovation. The future could see the emergence of smarter, more efficient chips, possibly even quantum chips, which could revolutionize the tech industry. Next, we have the changing dynamics of the global economy. As nations grow more technologically advanced, they are also becoming more dependent on semiconductors. This will likely lead to an increased demand for chips, which could intensify the war. However, it could also pave the way for new alliances and partnerships, as countries seek to secure their supply chains. In terms of international relations, the chip war is already causing ripples. Economic powerhouses are being forced to pick sides, and this could lead to a shift in global power dynamics. While some nations might choose to remain neutral, their decision could be swayed by the promise of access to advanced technology or the threat of economic sanctions. So, what could be the possible outcomes of this war? One scenario could be a clear victor, with one side dominating the global chip market. Alternatively, we could see a more fragmented landscape, with different regions specializing in different types of chips. Regardless of the outcome, the war is likely to have a profound impact on the tech industry, influencing everything from the devices we use to the way we interact with technology. The future of the chip war is shrouded in uncertainty, with countless variables at play. It's a high-stakes game where the chips are more than just pieces of silicon. They're the keys to technological supremacy. Only time will reveal the victor in this global tech war. But one thing is certain: the world of technology will never be the same again.